Najee, do you want to text Hudson?
I already did. He never responded.
Okay, well then since I'm recording, I'm going to go ahead and start teaching it. So we're going to start on a unit about circles. So the first thing we're going to start with is the arc length. Now, are you guys familiar with what a radius is?
Yes.
Okay, so the radius, just as a review, is from the center of a circle. So if we have the center of the circle in this example would be E. And so a distance to the edge. So that could be out over here, it could be here, but that distance is the same as long as it's from the center to the outside edge of the circle. So that's the radius. Does that make sense?
I thought it's like how big the circle is.
It's half of the circle.
Oh.
So it's only how big from the center to the outside edge.
Oh, okay.
Okay. All right. So then the measure, we normally write that like this. So it would be measure angle FED. And y'all should remember that from triangles. So the measure of angle FED would be this angle right here. And it would tell you how big it is. So that's the measure of the angle.
I have a question.
What's your question?
Is like the writing portion going to be on Google Classroom or no?
Is the writing portion?
Like what you're writing, like are you
No.
gonna... Oh, so we have to take notes?
Yes.
Oh, okay, so I need to bring it out real quick.
And I'm recording it so you can watch it back later. Okay. And press play and write it and pause as often as you need to.
Okay.
Okay. So then an arc is the distance between 2 points on the edge of the circle. So from F to D, that curved piece is called the arc. Think of it like the crust of the pizza. Make sense? Okay, so then the last one, the last vocabulary word is the sector. And so that would be this whole piece right here. That's called the sector. And it kind of looks like a pizza slice. So, but it's the area contained by the center point, which is E, and then the two outside points. So if you connect those dots, then that's your sector. Make sense? So then we have two different types of formulas. One is for the arc length, which just as a reminder, the arc length is here, FD. So that's what we're looking for. We want to figure out how long that is. And the way we're going to do that is it gives us the information that the angle measurement, so this angle right here, the measure of the angle is 54. So we would use the formula and it would be 54 divided by 360 times 2 pi times the radius. The R here stands for radius. Okay, so our radius is anywhere, remember, from the center to the outside, and it tells us that DE, so if we connect DE, it tells us it's 11, so that's our radius. And then all you have to do is plug it into your calculator.
How do you plug in pi?
There's a button on your calculator for pi.
Oh, okay.
Any questions?
So you multiply first by 2 pi and then you multiply by 11?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
And then times the fraction in the front. That's okay, Hudson, no big deal. So next, we have the area of a sector formula. Okay, so remember our sector, oops. Our sector is where we have the pizza slice, right? So what we're looking for is going to be, sorry, I'm trying, this area here. We want to figure out how big that area is. Okay, so we're going to use our formula, and it tells us that the measure of the angle LMN, so that would be this right here, oops, this right here. They give us that and tell us that it is 82. So we would have 82 divided by 360 times, now this part's a little bit different because it's pi r squared. So we still need to figure out what our radius is. And they tell us that LM, so when I connect L to M, they tell me that that's 11. Or sorry, that that's 9. Goodness. And again, you just plug it into your calculator. Not too complicated once you figure out what the words mean. And then you just plug it into your formulas. So you can use, you'll definitely want to use these notes on your Delta Math. But other than that, you can work on your Delta Math if you don't have any questions.
I have a question.
What's your question?
So when you do like 2 pi, do you say like 52 and then whatever your answer for the division is, times 2 pi times 11 or 2 pi times 11, then you multiply?
Multiplication, the order doesn't matter, remember. 4 times 3 is the same thing as 3 times 4.
That's not what I mean. Like, for example, let's say we get 0.8 for 50. I'm just giving you a hypothetical. 0.8 for 54 over 365, correct?
Okay.
Do I multiply that by 2 pi first or you multiply the inside first?
That's what I'm saying. That if you're multiplying, the order doesn't matter.
Oh, okay.
If you're multiplying, then you can multiply in any order.
Okay.
Because if you have 3 times 4 times 5, you could say that's 3 times 20. Or this is the same thing as 3 times 4, which is 12 times 5. Both of these things are 60. With
Oh, okay.
multiplication, order doesn't matter.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay. Colin, any questions?
No.
Okay, then you can go get started on your Delta Math. Hudson, we can run back over the beginning of the lesson.
Bye, Miss Downs. Bye, Miss Thompson.
Bye, Kitty Rose.
Sorry I called you Miss Downs.
When is the Delta Math due?
So you'll, it's not due until the 16th, but we're going to be adding more Delta Math. This is just today's.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
You should be able to finish it today with no problem.
Miss Thompson,
What's up, Josh?
so we can just go ahead and leave or not?
Yeah, you can go and leave and work.
Do I have to do only the ones that say my name, right?
Yeah, only the ones that say your name.
Okay.
Okay, Hudson. So the only part that we talked about while you weren't here was we went through the definitions. So the radius is the measure from the center of the circle to the outside edge. So if you were to start in the center of the circle and move to the outside edge, that's called the radius. It doesn't matter where you put it, just anywhere from the circle to the outside edge. Make sense?
Yes.
Okay. So then the next one is the measure of an angle. And we just said that they write it measure, angle, and then 3 letters. Just like the triangles from 2 units ago. So it would look something like this. And so we'd go, because it's in that order DEF, we draw DEF, and then that's the angle.
Okay.
Okay. And then an arc is on the edge of the circle between 2 points. And I say to think of it like the crust. So that right there is the crust of the pizza, right? So that's the arc. And then the sector is the area contained by the center in the 2 points. So that would be this.
Okay.
Okay. Good?
Yeah.
So then I think you came in while we were going through, but I'll just go through the example again for arc length. So the first thing it gave us was the measurement of the angle DEF. So that's angle DEF. And they told us it was 54. And then the formula says to divide that by 360 times 2 pi times r, which is our radius. And so remember, our radius is from any point on the center to the edge. And this says DE, which is what I just drew. So that's a radius. And it says it's 11 units. Yeah?
Yeah. So how do you see when it says, like, in this problem we're doing, where does it say multiply?
It's just, it doesn't say to multiply. Since it says to find the arc length, this is the formula for finding the arc length right here.
So finding arc length is multiplying.
Yeah, it's just plugging into that formula.
And then the area of sector formula is dividing.
It's all like multiplying and dividing. It's all.
So you can do it either way.
I mean, yeah, yes, I think I understand what you're asking. So this right here is, you're gonna have the measurement divided by 360, and this one also has the measurement divided by 360. Do you see that?
Yes.
Okay, so the only thing that changes between these two formulas is the area one has pi r squared, and the arc length has 2 pi r. So those are the differences between the two formulas. But so on Delta Math, it will either say, and I think it's divided up on Delta Math, like it tells you in the section, but it says find the area of the sector or find the arc length.
And how do we solve these problems?
So then you just type it into your calculator. So for the first one, we had, let's see, 54 divided by 360 times 2 times pi times 11. And when you put that in your calculator, let me see if I can break it into steps even for you. Let's see.
Oh, I
Um,
get it.
54 divided by 360 is 0.15 times 22 times pi. And then 0.15 times 22 is 3.3 pi. And your calculator should have a pi button on it. And I think Delta Math has a pi button in its calculator.
Yeah, I think it does.
I think it does too. Yes, it does have a pi button. Yeah.
So it goes the first 3 letters that equals a number divided by the measure of angle. Then you go into the parentheses after you get that answer. And then you do the number times the number in a second parentheses. And then you combine those 2 answers to get the number that combines with pi.
Yes. I mean, and that's what Najee was asking, I think, Hudson, is the order doesn't matter. I could multiply 2 times pi first. I could multiply 11 times pi first. When you're multiplying, the order doesn't matter.
Okay.
Okay.
I get
Try
it.
it, and then we'll meet on Wednesday again. And hopefully that'll be enough, okay?
Okay.
Okay. Bye.
Bye, Miss Thompson.